Regarding Armenia, we have to first look at the history of modern independent Armenia and the security architecture around Armenia. For almost 3 decades, Armenia's security was dependent from one source of security, namely Russia and the security organizations connected to it. And the previous government, and also our government before the war of 2020, thought that this is enough to guarantee Armenia's security and Armenia's territorial integrity. But as events unfolded, it became clear that over-reliance on one source of security or one provider of security simply doesn't work, because when the time comes and the security organizations or countries that have obligations to intervene don't want to. We can have debates about that, but the fact is that it didn't happen. And as a result, we have had ethnic cleansing in Nagorno-Karabakh. We have had Azerbaijan occupying around 200 square kilometers of sovereign Armenian territory, and it became evident that Armenia needs to diversify its security strategy, and not only security strategy. And Armenia has adopted now a policy of balance and balancing, which means that Armenia strives for deeper integration with the EU, for more cooperation with the US, with France, with India. We are very happy to see that security cooperation with India is getting deeper and deeper. But regarding EU aspirations, those may be connected to security, but not only. It is our conviction that the Armenian people have always strived to be closer to Europe. Armenians are culturally and politically European, and Armenia has embarked on a path of closer integration with the EU for decades now. We have had the comprehensive and enhanced partnership agreement with the EU, which still is in force, and as you said rightly, recently the Armenian Parliament adopted a law on European integration, which is a manifestation of the will of the Armenian people to be closer to the EU. But nevertheless, as the minister rightly mentioned, geography is destiny, and you have to take into account your surroundings. From the Armenian perspective, being closer to the EU does indeed mean being closer to the EU, but it doesn't mean that Armenia should become a separate planet in the Caucasus with no relations with its neighbors or countries in its region, and this is our strategy.
Ruben, if I might interrupt
yes.
you, does the shift in US and President Trump taking the power over there had any impact on your strategic choices?
A positive impact, yes.
Positive, okay. So I agree that geography is of course determining your neighborhood, but it's history and trade that determine who's your friend, and who's your partner. So if you could indicate which countries you envision as promising partners in the coming years, which would be on the priority list?
Well, yes, geography is destiny, but you can also change your destiny in your geography, and that's what Armenia is trying to do right now. It's not a secret that Armenia has been in a partial blockade ever since it gained its independence, basically, and we are trying to change the dynamic of the region of the South Caucasus, which will itself change the dynamic in the wider European region and also the dynamics in Central Asia, Middle East. What needs to be done? The position of Armenia is very simple. Right now we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create peace, lasting peace in the South Caucasus. we have a rare situation where neither Azerbaijan nor Armenia have to concede anything.
So the first answer is Azerbaijan.
Of course.
And the second and the third one?
Obviously, whenever you are talking about trade partnerships, the first answers are always your immediate neighbors. And we have a situation that we don't have relations with, or we don't have normalized relations with two of our neighbors, and that hinders all connectivity in our region of the South Caucasus and beyond. So the first answer is not just Azerbaijan. The first answer is Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkey, and Georgia. Okay. The second answer would be countries neighboring those countries. And we think that this opportunity we have, and I want to repeat, we have a historic chance when neither Azerbaijan nor Armenia have to concede anything on the ground. We have a situation, a status quo, and we have a text of a peace treaty ready. Negotiations have been finalized and closed, and we have a historic opportunity to sign and ratify this peace treaty. We have a historic opportunity to unblock all communications in the region of South Caucasus, which means all communications between Azerbaijan and Armenia, and in a separate track, all communications between Armenia and Turkey. And this will change the whole dynamic in the South Caucasus, the whole security architecture. And since we are discussing the theme of our panel is how can small countries navigate in these turbulent times, well, this is how small countries can navigate. It's the number one source of uncertainty for small countries, or even medium-sized countries in the modern world where the global order is collapsing, is conflict. You eliminate conflict, you eliminate uncertainty. You unblock communications, you eliminate uncertainty. And you also eliminate the risk of new conflicts. So this is our strategy. It's difficult, I have to admit. It's difficult also because our potential partners are not as constructive as we would like them to see, but we want to show on our own example that peace is possible, and we are going to do everything in our force to do this.